I'll answer any questions for you.
Front row middle, Dave.
Urban, you talk a lot this year about how important home night games are to have to host some home night games. You have a real interesting Big Ten schedule this year. If Iowa is a night game, as expected, you'll play 4 out of your 5 Big Ten road games at night. You have 0 Big Ten home games scheduled at night. Does that discrepancy bother you at all?
It sure does. I'm gonna, not that I understand TV contracts are kind of ruling though, but when you start talking about student athletes, these shouldn't have to play 4 night games on the road. And maybe I talked to Gene Smith about it, and I'm going to bring it up to our commissioner. We'll find out if we really do care about getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning 4 times. You don't do that. So yeah, I think night games have helped the Big Ten. Obviously, coaches aren't involved in television contracts and all that, but there should be a maximum of 2 on the road, in my opinion. Very strong opinion when I start thinking about players and what's expected of them during the week. You can't recover. You don't get those hours back. And I'm talking about academically. I'm talking about just your body and just the student-athlete welfare. So there's no way they should play 4. If it turns out to be, I don't think the other one's been finalized yet. But there should not be 4 night games on the road. And I'd like to, if they're going to have that conversation, Gene said that we discussed that. I don't, coaches weren't involved in that conversation.
Right, Bill.
Nebraska, the whole time you were growing up, was one of the great programs in the country. They've gone through a down period, as most college programs have. Ohio State's kind of the exception. How hard is it to stay at the top for as long as Ohio State has? And, do you feel, not feel for Nebraska, but do you understand the challenge that they have with not having a big recruiting base?
I don't know, Bill. We got great respect for Nebraska. Tom Osborne is a very good friend of mine. I know what that stadium is going to be like. It's been a while since I've been there, and we're so busy just trying to function as a program to worry about everything you said. We're getting ready for a very good team that plays a unique style of defense, and if this quarterback catches fire, he's a very accurate pass. So we don't have time to worry about that stuff.
And one question about the offense and Kevin Wilson. I know you wanted to hit the ground running, but how hard is it to do that? I mean, did it just take time for him to mesh with the players, the system, everything here?
Yeah, I think we had a really bad game against a really good team. I don't think it should. I think we didn't coach very well and didn't play very well in a game this year, and it was against very good personnel. And so we are just working our tails off to get better. To say, does it take time? We didn't change terminology. We added elements to make it better. He's a very good play caller. He's the primary play caller. But no, I don't think it should take time at all.
Third row right, Nick.
You guys used the tight end a little bit differently last week, got Marcus in the end zone too. When this offense is at its best, is the tight end a player that you should notice?
If he's a very good player, yes. If he's not, no. So throw the tight end. If he's a good tight end, we'll throw him to him. And if the defense allows you to. So if your X receiver is really good, then we throw it to the X. So it's all personnel based, and I've heard that for many, many years. And I think I've had 2 guys win the Mackey Award, and I think. But I think Marcus is really coming on to be a very good player for us.
Front row right, Austin.
Urban, by this point in the week, do you know what you would like to do with right guard, or do you go closer to the game before you make a decision?
I kind of know. We won't announce it yet, though.
It looks like maybe Michael Hill might be returning this week. Draymond should be back from that injury. Seems like a good time to get healthy on the interior of that defensive line.
Yeah, especially when you start facing the pro-type style teams that are going to come running off the ball at you. And Mike Hill gives us, and he's really handled himself. I haven't said much about him, but he's really handled himself right recently. So, and Draymond, to get him back, he looked great today and yesterday, so he's good to go.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, Urban, what comes into play now when you're looking for a starting right guard, a replacement starting right guard? What do you want to see from that guy?
Consistency, a guy that's, can't be the weak link, and that's been our issue here the last 2 years. Our depth has been awful. We have not, it's gone from the best offense line in the Big Ten, I think, the country, to I think our starting 5 are pretty good, to, for a variety of reasons, it's not what it should be. So that guy's got to step up, whoever it is, and he's got to play.
Is it still a 3-man, or, I mean, like you said, you have in your mind kind of what you want to do, or are there 3 guys still vying for that spot, the same 3 guys you named the other day?
Yes.
Does one have a lead?
Yes.
Which one is it? I'm just joking. One other quick thing, you used to talk about their unique defense. You guys have seen a lot of odd man fronts now.
Almost all.
Yeah. So is that unique anymore, or is it?
No,
You're
obviously it's not. It's, well, it's like anything, you become a little more comfortable with it. That used to be an oddity or, playing on words there, but it's used to be unique. It's not unique anymore.
And what stands out about the way Nebraska's playing it?
They're NFL. They're pure two-gap. Drop 8 is their day one install. That's when they first install it. You see it on videotape. And it's very hard. It's a type of defense that you're going to have to work for everything. You're not going to have many shots downfield on the way they play. They're very sound in what they do. They're secondary. They keep everything in front of them, and they rally up and run to the ball very, very well. They kind of give you the short stuff, and they're very well coached.
Second row middle, Tony?
Urban, can you address Trayvon Grimes? Is he on campus? Is he?
Trayvon is that he's dealing with family health issues. He's doing. I saw him. He's doing great. He's a guy that. But out of respect for him and his family, just so not right now.
Second row left, Ari?
Urban, I know we've been through how sped up the recruiting calendar is at times and forcing you to offer kids early and later. But you do at times have late offers in the process that you send out to kids after you have evaluated their senior tape or they have some film as a senior.
Right.
Going back today, and I haven't completed the research yet, but I've looked at your roster and I've kind of gone through when you offered them, and it seems like you have a high hit rate on players that you guys offered as a senior. And I was wondering, do you see a correlation between success in college and how much evaluation you get to do? And I mean, a lot of times earlier in the process you're offering the can't miss guys, but later on it seems like you guys have done a really good job.
Well, you have to offer to stay in the game, and then there's nothing worse than all of a sudden you stay in the game and you watch your senior film and they're not very good, or they've gone backwards in their academic or athletic, whatever they do. So, yeah, that's it puts us in a tough situation.
But there's a real
high correlation to watching their senior year and say, we want that guy.
Front row left, Doug?
Urban, is there any consideration to potentially solving the right guard position by putting Billy Price back at right guard and playing Brady Taylor at center?
We've had conversation about that because Brady Taylor is starting to make a move right now. So there's been conversation about that.
What's the pro and con? I mean, we know how good Billy is. Would you rather have that veteran guy at center?
Yes.
Okay.
Center is the position.
Okay. And just J.K. Dobbins, we know he had the huge load in the first game when Mike wasn't playing. It seems like he's remained very productive, but his carries have been in the teens.
Yeah.
Do you want to get him more, or do you feel like you guys are doing a good job that you don't want to wear out a true freshman?
No, I want to wear him out.
Okay.
Seriously, we want to wear him out, but last few games he's out of the game in the second and third quarter. So no, we want him to touch the ball.
You're not concerned about the freshman wall or anything. He can handle the ball.
No, the way he practices, he's got to take care of the darn ball. He laid one on the ground Saturday, but no, him and Mike are. I'm anxious to wear them both out.
And have you solved your kickoff issue yet? Do you know what you're going to do?
Yeah, we have. I don't want to blame the kicker. It's the coaching. So we're making some adjustments, and we'll see how it goes.
Far left, Lori?
Coach, you are on the record talking about how hard it is to get something out of practice once the season starts. But at least 5 of your guys on Saturday night said that the reason that they're playing better now is they're getting something extra out of practice that they weren't at the beginning of the season. Was there an adjustment made by the coaching staff? Do you see something extra coming from workouts? And if so, how are you getting that extra juice?
Well, I think Mick's very good at it, and I think our coaches, there's a lot of pressure around here. A lot of pressure created really by me about 9 units, and if your unit's not playing very well, whatever you're doing, change what you're doing. So I didn't know that, but I can imagine that happens, and if it's not going well, you're going to see a complete change in what we're doing.
So are you seeing something different?
Yeah, I see. Today was a great practice. I see the pressure to be 9 strong. It's like, you're the one person, one group that's not doing their job well. That's not comfortable around here.
Last couple questions. Front row left, Bill?
Urban, you mentioned last week the passing concept package, the mesh stuff that you said Ryan Day brought, and then it seemed like the tight end, the way you used it was maybe some Kevin Wilson influence. And I know you use the word enhance all the time, but is this perhaps the most you've allowed new coordinators to enhance and bring new concepts to your offense?
Oh, no. I think Tom Herman was probably the most because he did such a good job with I mean, that was a complete revolution for us as far as tempo and going fast, the terminology, the way we call plays. That was for me, that was because I didn't know it. I wanted to learn it, and Tom was great at that. I think everybody's added elements to it. These are the first two that have been established guys, though, that have came in. So I think they're very comfortable now. I think they know the baseline of what we do and make it better.
And then, I guess not to pry too much into a sensitive situation, but Trayvon is still on the team, and he's
sure.
And it's just an indefinite. He's away from the program at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And final question, back row, Steve.
Coach, Damon Arnett, his situation, he gets ejected with a 48-point lead, I think, at that point. Just, will there be an edict from the head coach, no starters in at that stage going forward, that situation, to avoid
Yes.
this?
To avoid that injury, too. Those are conversations constantly. I trust Greg, and, I don't really micromanage defense. My comments are be smart. On offense, I pull guys. In special teams, I pull guys. But those are, when you start playing nickel and those kind of things, you just sometimes run out of numbers, too.
Who will play, start, play, however you want to qualify it?
The two corners will be Sheffield and Denzel, and then Jeff Rakuta's in the mix.
Last thing, Joe Burrow didn't get in the game. Was that just indicative that Dwayne turned it over on the series before the last series, or what? And you wanted to have him finish on a positive note, or what?
I think so. I don't want to go back there and revisit that. I almost put him in, but I looked at the clock, or just one series left. So,
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, guys.